Alright, good morning everybody. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. We're in the Beechcraft Baron G58 and we will be going I just want to advance the time a little bit so we have some sunshine to work with here. So we're going from Topeka, Kansas, the regional airport here, to Eppley Airfield in Omaha, Nebraska. About an hour-long flight. Shouldn't take very long, but what's going to take longer is that I'm going to plug in our approach or our arrival information and then our approach information into the G1000 NXI so that when we're ready to activate the approach, we do it at the appropriate time. Okay, which is, I believe, it's from Civiv to anywhere between these three. But we're gonna try to nail that and have a nice ILS approach landing. So let's get in here and get everything started up. Thank you all for coming in. Hello, Joseph. Nice to see you again as well. All right, let's... Ooh, I was not expecting that. Okay. Snow-covered field. Interesting. Lightly covered, it looks like, but we are going to make it work. All right, and yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so let's get the aircraft started up first. Get all our lights and stuff on. And we got to get our fuel switches on. Move that forward. Move that forward. And hit that little button down there. And then we need to I don't think this has a primer. We're just going to go ahead and start it up. There's that one. There's that one. All right, so we got those started. Now we can work on our stuff for the so we want to go to proc, which is our procedures. We want to go to select arrival. I'm going to scroll down here. Enter. We're going to scroll down to right there. Enter. Scroll down to 3.6. Enter. Load. Perfect. All right, so there we go. That's in there. Now we're going to go back here and we're going to select our approach. Enter. ILS 3.6. Enter. So right there, there's our final approach. Civiv. Enter. No, we don't want to fly a course reversal. Enter. We want to load it. Enter. All right, so that's all set now. So when we get close, we're just going to scroll down and we're going to activate that approach. So that's all it should require us to do. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. All right, now we can go ahead and ask for our clearance. Yeah, it is, Joseph. It certainly is.
Forbes ground, guard 203 IFR to Omaha, ready to copy.
Just a light coding, it looks like.
Guard 203 is cleared to Omaha Airport as filed. Take off runway 31 climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure frequency is 123.8 squawk 4025.
Guard 203 cleared to Omaha Airport as filed.
Oh, I should have changed that.
That's
not the...
Departure on
I thought I changed it last night.
Guard 203, read back correct.
I did change it last night. It didn't save for some reason. Huh.
Good day.
Forbes ground, guard 203 with Mike ready to taxi IFR.
Guard 203 taxi to and hold short of runway 31 via taxiway Delta Bravo cross runway 3 Bravo. Contact tower on 120.8 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 31 via taxiway Delta Bravo cross runway 3 Bravo guard 203.
All right, let's push back here.
Forbes ground, guard 203 requesting pushback.
Guard 203, pushback request accepted.
Yeah, I changed all this last night and it didn't save it for some reason. Interesting. Okay, well, I wonder if that means that this is all... Okay, that says live weather. Interesting. Okay, well, we will go with it. To the right a little bit. Morning, Mick.
Forbes ground, guard 203 requesting pushback tug to steer the aircraft to the right.
Guard 203, your request has been transmitted to the operator.
Forbes ground, guard 203 requesting the end of pushback.
Guard 203 request to end. Pushback received.
Alright, so I think we are all set. Look at the yoke back there. Yep, I think we're all set now. Alright, let's go. A little bit of a taxi to our runway, but that's okay. We'll get there. Oh, there's one other thing I forgot to do. That'll at least get us in the air and headed to the right altitude. Zipping along here. Crossing this runway here. Runway 21 and runway 3. Runway over there to 31. For a stream today, lucky I came up with a quick one. Yeah, I didn't know that you were struggling to find something to do, Joseph. Either usually on FIFA or you're on the road or bus sim. But I get the sense though that, I mean, streaming on a farm alone is a lot of work because you're doing all the stuff by yourself and it takes a lot of time. So it's easy to get behind on, or you're not, looking at all the things you need to get done, and it's easy to get lost in everything. Anyways, hello fish guns. How are you? Nice to see you here. We're almost at our runway to take off here. I think this works in a lot of ways because it gives people time to come in. They haven't really missed anything. And if I forget anything, if I'm thinking about, I got to do this before I get to the... Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Mick. I was really looking forward to the Rock and Stone last night. I purchased the livery pack yesterday. My game was just not acting right. Super leggy, and then I'll put glitching. Well, I don't know that it would be Microsoft. It would probably be, you would have to submit a trouble ticket, but they would also ask you to contact, I think it's Braddock made those liveries. You might have to contact them so that they could look into it. I don't know that you would get any help from Microsoft, really, because they didn't design it. So, yeah, that's... Man. And it may just be that it has nothing to do with the livery itself, and it might be something completely different. But it's hard to say because there's so many things that happen in the sim that it's hard to pin down. Now, I would try, before you email anybody, try removing the livery pack, just deleting it from your content thing, your content manager or whatever. Just delete it so it's not available, and then try the flight again without those on. Oh, you were player short. Oh, I guess Bex couldn't make it the other night, or was it Chris? One of the two, or maybe it was Pulse. Maybe it was you. I don't know. Yeah, try that before you think, because it may just be a problem with the plane itself, not the livery. So I would try to see if you can figure it out before you start emailing folks. That's what I usually do. And then if I run out of, if I've tried all the stuff that probably would be suggested anyway.
Tower guard 203 ready for IFR departure runway 31. Guard 203 altimeter 29.70 wind 117 at 11. Cleared for takeoff runway 31. Cleared for takeoff runway 31 guard 203.
Crusty salute there. Stuck in. Yeah, I saw there was quite a few people that were talking about that in the forums before I kind of buggered off of them. That the the folks on the PC were having that problem, Mick, and I don't know what the solution would be, but again, I would try to go there. Yeah. I get that, Fish Guns. And whenever I always, what I try to do is when something comes out, I try not to get it right away, for one thing, and secondly, I don't want to get, or when things start happening, especially it seems that it really affects the jetliner aircraft more so than this, so, the prop planes. So I'll go ahead and put the de-ice on as soon as we get it. So when we get up there, we're already set to go. Yeah, that's why I just try to fly into stuff that I know works. I know it's not the most exciting thing, but for me, it's just a lot safer than, oh yeah, we just zip right up there. Pilots. Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen that just don't make a lot of sense, and it's hard to get to and that, try to figure out what it is that's happening.
Kansas City Center guard 203 is at 1,700 feet, climbing 5,000 feet.
Guard 203, Kansas City.
Ooh, look at that wind.
29.70, continue as planned.
A little bumpy coming out. Yeah, there's stuff that works, but it doesn't seem like it works a lot of the time. And I just try to find the things that I know. I spend a lot of time off stream to test things so that I have a sense that I know that things are going to be working and that they're going to be working well. So it's hard because even if I test it tonight, tomorrow morning might be a different story. That's the hard part in all of this. So, that's why I try to double check things before I stream so that if I have to make a change in the aircraft or whatever, then I can do that. But it's, yeah. What did he say it was? Did he say 2970? Yeah. I thought he said 3070. I'm like, wait, what? That's a rather extreme change. So yeah, I think the forums are always, when you're running into those kinds of problems, the forums are usually the best source of information, because a lot of other people may be experiencing the same issue and might be able to offer some kind of a workaround when it's like the files or whatever. Because on the PZ side, I have no idea. On the Xbox side, it's just I try to I just remove stuff and I try it again and see, and if it works, then it's like, okay, well then this seemed to work, maybe this is the problem. But it's very difficult sometimes to tell, not gonna lie. It's a bit frustrating, but anyway. So we are on our way. We are going to MSORI. Let's get our range set a little bit more. Oh, it must be because we're nearing our altitude or something. There we go. That's what we want, 10 nautical miles. So, yeah, I agree, but I do it because I enjoy, I try to enjoy what I can in the sim, and I know that's not always an easy thing to do, because there's so many things that don't work and we don't know why they don't work. So I just try to, you know, if I'm going to stream, I want to try to find the things that I know will work. And if they don't or aren't going to work, then yeah, it's going to be a bit woken up by the wind this morning. Yeah, that happens, Joseph. Old Mother Nature will wake you up when you least expect it. All right, so I think we're going to stay right here at 5,000 feet the whole way, which is fine, because then we're going to be right within our limits. So like when we come into runway 36, so just kind of give you guys an idea here what we're going to do here. So when we come into runway 36, which is we're on approach 36. All right, so we need to be at 4,000 feet right when we get to Civiv. So we're going to stay right here, right almost to the point that we get to Civiv, or we'll go ahead and reduce there. We'll call down our altitude reduction to 4,000 feet, and then from there it should be pretty much straightforward. I'll activate the approach once we pass Civiv, and I see Kobit next. Then I'll go ahead and activate the approach, or actually no, because it says Civiv is final. Yeah, I'll activate it right at Civiv, or just as we pass it. So that should give us a our good sort of wow, look at that crosswind. Let's look at our 57 knots from the west, roughly. Whew, man, that's insane. That is just insane. All right, we can turn off our lights here, I believe. Probably get the throttle back, or the props back just a bit. Yeah, it's close enough. We had 3 different storms in a week. Yeah, you guys have gotten hit pretty hard. And oddly enough, so far we have ducked probably some really serious snow here where I live. Yeah, that's... Whew, wow. Alright, so the only thing, so kind of changing the subject here, sorry. The only thing that I'm going to have to worry about once we get to Civiv and I activate the approach, the only thing I'm going to have to watch is our airspeed. Since there's no auto throttle, that's the only thing I'm going to control as we go into the airport. Hopefully this works according to plan. Yeah. Well, there's not really much to block the wind either in Omaha or anywhere in Kansas for that matter. I mean, it's just all pretty flat, isn't it? You know. So yeah, I mean the temperature, whatever it is, there's got to be a wind chill on top of that as well. So yeah, crazy stuff. So hopefully this goes the way I think it's going to go. And because we're going to be cruising at 5,000 feet, that helps me. We're basically kind of set up very early once we get closer to the airport. We still got quite a bit of distance to go. So that's our first marker there in the distance, which is MSORI. So that's the one we're headed towards. right now. And then from there, then it should be kind of fairly straightforward kind of stuff. We'll do a little bit of zigzagging, you know. Oh, nice. Oh, Creighton. It's commercial though. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what the difference would be, or I guess the industrial would have more power, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure about those sorts of things, to be honest. So, I don't know. Alright, so we're all set here. I don't think there's anything else I need to toggle to make our flight any easier. Not much to see back there. Just 4 seats, and you got on this side you got that little table there. There's the door for passengers. Now, I think when we get to Omaha, I'm going to try to go back and see if we can actually open that door or not. Curious to see if it'll open. We'll try. We'll see what we can do. Oh, commercial vacuum uses an extension cord. Oh, okay. Oh, so commercial. Okay, commercial. So if it was like a home one, it would be a much shorter cord for like your living room or whatever, and you would have to buy an extension cord to use to be able to go all around your house. Then, okay. So that would be a domestic vacuum cleaner, I guess. I don't know. I never really thought much about vacuum cleaners. That's an interesting I guess it's very interesting that you're interested in those. But I mean, hey, you know, everybody has their things that they are passionate about. Nothing wrong with that. Metal bumpers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure the metal ones probably last longer and hopefully doesn't damage the walls or whatever as much either. But usually, I mean, along the hallways you have those what you call it, the bottom of the baseboards, I guess. You know, those are usually very well made and withstand a lot of abuse. You know, you got people going down the hallway with their luggage and all that, and they hit the sides and everything. Let's just look. See if any of these buttons are. Yeah, that's okay. Got it 50%. Yeah, in the winds, takeoff and landing can be very difficult because you have to adjust for the crosswinds and all that. And yeah, very experienced pilots already know kind of what to expect and what to do. You know, they've done it enough times, but you know, if it can be a scary thing. They stopped making vacuum 5 years ago. Oh, I didn't even know that they had made vacuums. That's shows you how much I know. I would have never guessed in a million years that that's something that they do. But you know, there's lots of things about technology or companies that we don't really always know all the things about them. You know, so yeah, I would have never guessed that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be flying commercially today at all. That would be just too. No thanks. Now with the storms, especially over in the UK, I'd be like, no, I think I'll just cancel my flight. I'll stay on the ground for another week or two until this settles down. No thanks. If somebody else is brave enough to get in the plane, they're more than welcome to take my seat. But I know it should be, that bad. But if you just don't feel, if your stomach is very can get upset very easy, then yeah, I would say you might want to skip flying for right now. It might be a good idea. Right, so interesting. Now look at this. Now I thought from a distance this looked like we were getting ready to cross over a huge lake or something, right? But we're not. It's just that right here, for whatever reason, now this is the strangest thing. It's like it's like we're in this very snowy area, and then we're across right over here, and there's no snow. That seems rather odd. That doesn't seem very right. It's $200. Yeah, I wouldn't want to fly in this weather. I don't think I could fly that pissed off to get through the takeoff and landing. That's just too much energy to spend. Yeah. Oh, you really know your vacuums. I mean, hey, everybody has their thing, and I mean, that's just absolutely amazing. I would have never known any of those things. So I learned something new today. It's always a good thing. It's always a good day when you learn something new. So tomorrow we'll be in the 350i. We're going to go from Telluride to Oklahoma City. Now, Telluride, the airport, is known for being very difficult. I think more for the landings and the takeoffs, but I guess it could be both. When I was researching ice runways, which I still have not been able to find a runway that is, like a frozen lake or river or something. To be able to take off from, so that we could use a ski plane sort of thing. So Telluride from there to Oklahoma City in the 350i tomorrow, and then we'll stay with the 350i on Wednesday, Amarillo to San Antonio. And part of this really is that I want to see, because I think before when I was flying in planes like this, $1,200. Wow. That's insane. Whew. I don't know if I had $1,200 I would spend it on a vacuum, but hey, more power to you, more vacuum power to you. There we go. So I want to get, I think, I know where I was going with this. So before, when I was flying in planes like this, and we would line up an ILS approach, and I'd hit the approach button and nothing would happen, right? So I have done some research, and with this, the Garmin G1000 NXI, I've kind of figured out how to put that stuff in, and now we're going to see if my homework is going to pay off, and we're going to activate the approach, and then hopefully the ILS will take us right in, and we'll be, we'll get close to the ground. I'll hit the autopilot off, I'll throttle back, and we'll be on the ground nice and easy. But he's asking to, it normally costs $1,200, but he's asking $200. That doesn't seem something seems wrong with that. That's just my guess. Something doesn't seem right there. So, yeah, I would be very cautious with that one. There's got to be something wrong for a brand new vacuum to go, that's normally $1,200, to go for $200. That seems like too good to be true. So, but yeah, that's the intent, is to kind of be able to fly some different stuff and know how to fly it, I guess, well, So, yeah, it's all about learning how things work and hopefully putting all those things into practice, and then know, seeing how it all comes together. And I do believe Captain Arsh is flying tonight, so I'm hoping to join him in his part of his world tour as he continues along Australia. I think they've been discussing some the flight plan to try to showcase some of the interesting parts of the southern part of Australia as we make, I guess, we're going east, making our way back around, or we're going to continue to a point, if I remember correctly, then you could jump over to New Zealand and then go back to the main. The hose doesn't work, so it's so you just got to fix the hose. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much one of those hoses cost, if you know, but hey, if it works, I mean, yeah, if you're able to do the repairs yourself, I mean, you know, I noticed a lot of people. You know, you could find some really nice watches on eBay, for instance, and they're brand name stuff, or at least that's what it appears to be, right? And they're broken, and so people will sell it for, you know, it's normally very expensive, but they'll say we'll sell it for $500, but it's going to need work. Now, some people know how to fix those kinds of watches, and so they're able to do the work themselves. Or they have somebody who will do the work for them, and it's not a huge cost or whatever. So they get really nice watches. Now, what they usually do then is, once it's fixed and working, it's tested and everything, then they go and say, okay, now I can sell it and make my money back. Yeah. Hello, Sedant. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. So yeah, it's but yeah, there's a lot of people who do that. They'll find watches on eBay or they'll buy a whole lot. Some people will sell them in huge lots of broken watches, and somebody will pick them up and they'll just start working through them, fix them up, and then sell them at a higher price to make their money back. You know, so big money in that market. All right, so at least we're not kind of headed almost into the wind, so that's okay. But it's pretty big headwind at 33, 32 knots. So we're just going to have to make do with that. So I'm going to stay at 5,000. We're going to keep going a little bit more. We're on this leg, and then we're on our way to the next one, which is, so we're on Moses, and then the next one will be, okay, PWE is our arrival point. So we're almost at our arrival phase, and then from there, we should step down to 4,000 feet and just stay there, and then we'll get to Civiv, CIV, and then we'll go ahead and hit that, activate the approach mode, or activate the approach here in our system, and the procedures line up, and hopefully we're going to put this thing on the ground nice and easy. That's the intent. Well, we still will land nice and easy, or as much as we can do so.
126.4 for guard 203. Minneapolis Center guard 203 5,000.
It seems rather far for going into Nebraska. 296. Just a small adjustment, nothing too severe. I think the adjusted for it's broken for how long and high you want the head on the floor, but it cleans and works fine. Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, I think the way you have that, you've broken it down and said, you know, if I can buy it and I can fix it and it does its job, then I've saved a ton of money and I've got a product that works, you know. Not a lot of people think about that. When they think of something used or needs repair, they're just like, I can't be bothered, or, you know, no, you know. So, but a lot of those things, they do last for quite a long time, you know, the older stuff. It's just it needs a little bit of attention, and that's not a bad thing, I don't think. Why does it seem like right there, like the oil's leaking? Not that I have those sorts of things, but look at that. Just notice there's like a buildup of something right here, back here. That's very interesting. Huh. Yeah. Well, that's good. I would have never, you know, those are all things that I would have never thought about, to be honest. And I enjoy that you're sharing this passion with us. That's cool. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, Crankman. And have you ever thought about, I know this is going to sound a bit odd, have you ever thought about making a YouTube channel and talk about these sorts of things and talk about fixing them? I think that would be, some people would find that very fascinating. You know. Because you're saving stuff that most people would just throw away. You know, they're like, oh, it's broken, I don't care anymore, I'll just go buy a new one. But you're saving these things, you're using them still. And I think it would be very interesting for people to know. I think that's a great idea, to be honest. And I'm not just saying that just to be funny. I think it would be a very unique thing for you to share with people. You know, like there's a person on YouTube that he talks about repairing watches, and he goes through the steps, you know, taking it apart, and he has everything zoomed in, talking about what he's doing. Or sometimes he'll do it kind of this weird, and he won't talk, and he'll just show everything, and you just hear the sounds of the tools being used, you know, like opening the back case or whatever, you know. So yeah, I think that's an amazing thing, and people might appreciate that you're saving these machines that most people would just yeah, exactly. And you know, the interesting thing is, sometimes somebody may see a vacuum that you're using and they'll think, wait a minute. And it gives them a connection to maybe their childhood. Oh, I remember when my grandmother, for instance, had this vacuum. Oh man, that's amazing. I thought these things were long gone. And I think that would be an interesting thing. You might have people who are going to say, I have this connection with this. I know it's going to sound weird. I have a connection with this vacuum because I recognize it from my childhood, you know. And that just gives people a sense of comfort that the things that from their past aren't exactly dead yet. You know. But you know, that's just my take on it. You know, it's up to you, of course. And all right, so we are near our arrival phase, and then we're gonna go. After here, I'm going to ask to descend. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and ask now. Heck with it. Just by 1,000 feet. It won't take us long to get there.
Minneapolis Center Guard 203. Request 4,000 feet.
Guard 203, descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet, Guard 203.
All right. Now we got to get back off the throttle just a bit. That's interesting. This said 4, and then this marker over here says 5,000 feet. Interesting. "18-inch wide vacuum, that's bigger than the room rate I want. Probably has problems too. It is 1,200 on the internet, but my friend is selling it for 200. So yeah, if you could get it at that price, and then you can repair it, and you know you're not out 1,200. You know you're saving $1,000, and you out of that 1,000 you may spend maybe what 100 or so on parts. You know, possibly, I don't know. I'm kind of guesstimating here, but you know, that's still not a bad deal, to be honest. But I do think there's a market for people who want that connection to the past. They may not know it, or they don't think much about it, but I think that would go a long way. You know, you'd have an audience that I think would be very interested in those sorts of things and appreciate that connection. I mean, if I had the means, and you know, if I had like a car renovation shop, I wouldn't put it like on the History Channel or any of those kinds of places. I would just make my own YouTube videos and we'd talk about a project, for instance. But again, you would she doesn't want her Dyson vacuum sold, and that's fine, but I want to sell it because I want to know what it feels like using a huge vacuum. Yeah, like the older stuff, yeah, there's, you know, they work. They just don't have all that filtration stuff, and you know, it's not all high speed like the Dyson. You know, Dyson vacuums are engineered very specifically to do what it does, and the interesting thing is you see it at work. You know, you got the big clear thing, and you see all the dirt being collected. And for some people, that gives them a sense of, oh, it's, you know, it's really working. Whereas the older vacuums, you had to open up the bag and you had to dump the bag out, replace the bag, and you know, all those, you know, yeah. We had one when I was a kid that you had to have a bag, and you had to, you know, it had like a little spring at the hose, and you put the bag around that, and then you put the spring back up, and it held it in place. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either, but still, people might see something and go like, wow, I thought these were all like out of, you know, they were long gone, you know. So we are on our way to where? Timo. Okay, so we're not quite at our approach area yet. We're gonna cruise right here at 4,000, and then we'll be ready for our. I think we're in good shape here. Just a little bit breezy today. 32 knot wind still coming almost out of the west. So now we can zip over here. We can kind of see ahead. Let's just zoom out just a bit. If that's it. Out. All right, so just even that farther out, right? You can see right there. There's pretty much what we got left once we pass Timo. My hometown, I saw a huge 25-inch vacuum cleaner, and they don't use it anymore, sadly. Huh. Progress, man. I was trying to think of the grocery store I used to visit in Savannah. That was at Kroger's. I love Kroger's. It was absolutely amazing to shop there. Well, I think it's just it may be that the bigger one is starting to go, and they don't have the money to repair it, so they're like, well, we'll just use this, and it's going to take longer to get stuff cleaned, of course, but they don't care because the person who's doing the work isn't going to be that concerned about the time it takes to do it, you know, because they're going to get paid either way. So for them, maybe it's just a matter of, well, if it used to take me 3 hours to do this floor, now it's going to take me 6 hours. Well, that's 6 hours out of my 8-hour shift, and I'm not having to do anything else but run the vacuum. I'm okay with that. It's, so for some people, it doesn't bother them that it's going to take longer. Now the manager might want it to take, go quickly, but if you have a smaller vacuum, it can't go quickly, can it? So there you go. I mean, if somebody gave me a vacuum and said, well, it's only this wide, and it might take you longer to do everything, hey, no skin off my back. I'm okay with it. Because then I don't have to worry about doing anything other than that. If I don't want to stock shelves or take pallets out of this warehouse or the back storage area, all that kind of stuff. I just want to be able to, vacuum. I know that sounds crazy, but some people, that's what they want. Well, I don't know that would go over very well, Crankman. That might be a bit much. You might get in trouble for that one, because they'd be like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" So yeah, but all right, we're almost there, and then we'll keep kind of going on the same track to the next marker, which was we're on our way to Timo. So I'm really surprised we're talking in Minneapolis Center. It seems a bit far, but I could be wrong.
Guard 203. Minneapolis Center, guard 203, 4,000 feet.
Guard 203 Minneapolis Center altimeter 29.69.
So that's not changed.
Take it to Timo as planned.
And Kroger's employee shirt on. Well, they say do continue to Timo's planned. Yep. So Timo, and then we have Moon Romeo, and then we have Mansick, M-A-N-S-E-Q, Mansick. So we're getting a little bit closer, and then from there we should start to see our next, what's going to happen beyond that once we get past Timo and keep heading towards the airport there. They won't know. You'd be surprised. I don't know. I guess if it's a big store, they may not know what's going on, but eventually somebody might catch on. Oh, look at that. I didn't know what that was. I thought it was a field, but it looked like it's possibly that it was like, in the earth, like almost like it was dug out that way or something. It's interesting. I don't know what that is supposed to be. It looks like some kind of a. Looks like there was a river there or something, maybe. Like the water went around on all that. Huh. That's rather odd looking. Love these little patterns. You know, you're flying over and you see these patterns on these fields. Billy Bob Jones. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was very interesting. There's always some, I do like flying over these. Here's Syracuse, the town of Syracuse, which is, you know, there's Syracuse, New York, but there's also a Syracuse out here, I guess, in Nebraska. Go figure. Yeah, I just like looking at some of these things, and it's nice to be able to fly at 4,000 feet and see all this stuff. You know, we're going on at we're at 172 knots. We got that wind coming from from the west still at 32 knots. So yeah, it's a bit windy. Oops. All right, so looking ahead, let's zoom in. So I just want to get a little bit closer look, and then we'll. So we're on our way to where? To Moon R. All right, so there it is. This is coming into view now. All right. Okay, Crankman, take care. Have a good day. Nice. Yeah, exactly, Mick. Take care. Yeah, nice to see you here. Have a good day yourself. Enjoy your Monday if you can, if it's possible. Not everybody likes Mondays, but hey, it's here. We got to deal with it if necessary. Yeah, I really like this. You know, you see these farm, you know, the areas where all these farms are, and just see these unique geometric shapes from the air. You know, the way that it's designed. It almost looks like it's like a topographic map. Like it would be, you know, there would be the top of the hill at off the right wingtip, but then you have the lower elevations down to the bottom. You know, it does remind me a lot of a topographic map. If you've really studied them and looked at what information they have. But it's all flat. That's the weird thing. It's weird now that I think about it. It's almost like I'm expecting to see these, you know, high areas on this land, and it's not. It's all flat. It's very weird. I'm not gonna lie. Well, hopefully everybody's enjoyed today's flight. Appreciate everybody coming in. Appreciate the 2 likes. So, nice way to start the week. Hopefully it's going to be a good... Well, it's going to be a good landing one way or the other. But I'm really hoping this goes the way that I think it's going to go. Alright, so... Where is our... Why is there no information beyond that? That's rather odd. We're going to KOMA. It's like it ends right there at Manskew. I think. It's very weird. Let's see. Zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, it goes to Manskew and then it like disappears. But it may be once we get there, then we'll see what happens. Okay, why is that showing there? It's odd that that's there, because we're not going there. Huh. Okay. zoom out. Okay, so from Manskew, then it should take us to Civiv, and then from there we'll activate our approach. But it's weird that the line's not connected. Like, it should be connected, but I think it's going to connect anyway. We'll see once we get to Manskew, which looks like it's not very far in front of us. Mansik. Yeah, that was a very short sort of thing, it looks like. That's odd. It's like it totally... Huh. Well, let's see. Once we get past here, let's see what happens. Just had my lunch. Their bike falling over in the road park. Oh.
Climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 36 approach via Civiv transition. Clear to Civiv.
No, we're going to stay right here at 4,000.
Climb and maintain 5,000 feet.
Well, you know what? The heck with it. We're gonna go with what they want. Just so that we don't get those numpty calls every.
Contact Omaha approach on 120.1. Good day.
120.1 guard 203. Omaha approach guard 203 is at 4,000 feet, climbing 5,000 feet.
Guard 203 Omaha approach altimeter 29.69er. Continue to Civiv as planned. Guard 203 descent and maintain 4,000
See?
feet.
Wow.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet, guard 203.
Insane. I don't know why it does that, but that's all right. All right, it says we're flying towards Civiv, I believe. All right, let's just check our procedures. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this dialed in, or actually I'm going to leave it right there where it is. That's interesting that now it says we're off track. Oh, okay. Direct to enter. Oops. Activate. Enter. Now we're on track. So we weren't too far off. We corrected it. That's fine. That's interesting that it didn't have our track like it normally would. It just started raining a bit as well. Okay, well, just be safe, Joseph. No need to go outside. All right, so let's go to our procedure thing now. Procedure, and then once we're past that marker, even though we don't see it, the next one I think is our Cobit. Now the other thing too is this: you can, if you miss, you can activate the missed approach, and it will take you to this area to hold until you get other instructions. That's the interesting thing. So there's lots of things that are built into this system that think we can go ahead and get some flaps dropped to start slowing down. Alright, so once we turn and it says that we are... Okay, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and activate the approach. Enter. Perfect. Alright, now we are... Oops. Why is it turning... That's rather odd. It's like we're turning around. Well, alright, we're gonna let it do its thing. I think we're gonna turn back around into the approach. I hope. Looks like that's what we're doing. Nope. We're doing something else. No, we are still turning. Okay. Hello, Amela. Morning. Alright, we're just going to let this play out, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, we're still turning. We're going to come back onto the track, I think, here in a moment. Oh yeah, big, long left-hander here. As we come back around to line up. It's interesting that it would do that, but we're going to let it fix itself. We're going to see if it does. We're almost back on track there. Hoping this picks up. Alright, now it should straighten itself out as we get back on track. I hope. Okay, oh, I know why. I think it's got us in a hold. Let's see, does it fix itself? It is. Okay, it looks like it is. Turning back towards it now. Okay. That's alright. Alright, it's fixing itself. Whew. Okay. Good stuff. I flew the Boeing... oh, you talk about the F-18? I think it's the F-18. Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's awesome. Alright, let's see if we can get to 3,000 feet here real quick. Nope. It is not letting us ask for further reduction. It should tell us, I would think. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and do it ourselves. Just so that we're well ahead of the curve here.
Guard 203, you are 10 miles south of Omaha. Contact Omaha Tower on 13.2.1 when inbound.
Tower on 13.2.1 guard 203. Omaha Tower guard 2039 miles south inbound ILS runway 36 approach.
Guard 203 Omaha Tower. Altimeter 29.721078 at 8. Cleared ILS runway 36 approach.
Cleared ILS runway 36 approach guard 203.
What do you say it was? 2972. Okay. Get that dialed in. Alright, looks like we're on our way. We're still flying towards the airport, so I think it's blinking green, so I think we got a locked... Okay, it just went green, so we're locked in on the glide slope. So this is... I tried it when it was first released with the Game of the Year edition, and it's very difficult to. It seemed kind of like there was a lot of stuff missing, or at least that's my intention. So anyway, real quick before I finish that, so it looks like we've got everything. It's all working as intended. So we're already on the glide slope, although we are going in a little bit hot here, and I don't want. We're starting to lose altitude as it is, but I think we're okay. I'm going to keep an eye on this, but look how off angle it is because of the wind, and that is a 30-something knot wind. Even though they said 8-knot wind, the wind is really affecting our approach because we're kind of off. You know, we're lined up, but it doesn't seem like we are. Now it seems like we are. Like it's kind of correcting itself a little bit at a time. So we are right where we need to be. Let's go ahead and drop our last bit of flaps. So this is working the way it should have. Yeah, I did, but when I tried it, Amilla, I was just kind of like, you know, like compared to the F-14 or the F-15, it was just seemed kind of like it didn't really like do anything for me. Whereas, you know, when I'm in the F-14 especially, it's like, man, this is fantastic, you know. So, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. I know the PC version, you can modify it a little bit, and there's more to it than what the. So anyway, real quick, as we're coming in, I'm just going to show you real quick. So if we were to miss the approach, right? There's a thing that you can select that says activate the missed approach procedure, and then it would just basically take over and get you back, you know, take you to that holding pattern sort of thing. All right, so it looks like we are, yeah, this has gone pretty well. We've got quite a bit of runway to guide us, or we can use. So we're going to let it get a little bit closer, and then I'll deactivate the autopilot, and then we're on the ground. But look at that. If you can see right there, we are at the right angle. So those red, that means we're right where we need to be. A little bit off. There we are. That worked pretty well, all things considered. That went very well.
Car 20, return next taxiway.
All right, it's showing up way up there. Okay, so yeah, that went pretty well. It worked, so we know now that it works as intended. You know, it was a bit of a learning curve, but that's okay because it seemed like we were going to spin around there in that left turn forever, but it corrected itself, which is what we wanted to do before we start to like turn things off and whatnot. So, yeah. Oh, thank you, Joseph. Yeah, that went pretty well. Much better than expected, but at least now we know that it works like it's supposed to work. So that's the important thing. Yeah, I always like it when a plan works. As even though I didn't know what to expect, but it was fantastic. I think.
Ground on 121.9er.
All right, we'll park it and.
121.9er for guard 203.
Parking,
Omaha
please.
ground guard 203 taxi to parking.
Guard 203 taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha.
Taxiing to
All
general
right.
aviation parking via taxiway Alpha Guard 203.
On behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Omaha, Nebraska. The local time, I think, is 5:48, almost 6 in the morning. We know that you have many options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream viewing pleasures, and we are glad that you chose to fly with us today. Do join us tomorrow in the Beechcraft King Air 350i as we take a flight from Telluride to Oklahoma City. Should be very picturesque also. Some nice mountain scenery and maybe a bit of snow and all kinds of fun stuff along the way. So do join us for that tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, 11:30 UK time. Appreciate everybody coming in today. Appreciate the thumbs up. Appreciate the comments today in the chat. Very interesting stuff. So, yeah. So now we know it works. That's the important part. We did it correctly, as far as I can tell. So. Ooh, big fuel truck in front of us. Get out the way, fuel truck. Okay, Joseph. Well, glad to see you there.
Car 203, hold position, caution, other traffic. Car 203, continue taxi.
Roger, guard 203.
It gets a little old with this whole traffic, and they're just purposely like turning in front of us, it seems. It's like the numpty AI that you deal with in Formula One, Mick. Oh, I got the numpty AI here at the airport as well. Just causing all kinds of havoc. Cutting me off and stuff. Got passengers to get here. Trying to get to their destination. All right, we are there. There we are. Ta-da! That went fan-flipping-tastic. I really enjoyed that. All right, let's go ahead and shut the engines off. All right, let's go ahead and turn everything off. Not getting away from them, Rob, I'm afraid. yeah, you're right, Mick. Man, it's like they follow. They're like they annoy you, and then they come over here and annoy me, and then yeah, good stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and shut our batteries off. There we go. Perfect. 56 minutes. So that was about what we expected, although it seemed a little bit, well, we took longer in the stream because I was showing the all the stuff that we were going to do, and it worked. So now we know what to do and how to make it work. So we're going to continue with that and keep learning those things and keep kind of reinforcing it. So that's what we're going to do in the 350i tomorrow as well. So anyway, hopefully you enjoy the rest of your Monday morning, afternoon, evening, early Tuesday, wherever you are in the world. Thank you all for coming in and hanging out. I will see you all tomorrow in the 350i. Take care. Peace. Live long and prosper.